Arcadia FYI. I'm Christine Zito, your wonderful host. I am so pleased that you're here with me today. I have a great show. Arcadia FYI, for your information, we are committed to providing timely and relevant information like developments, business, events here in our community and outside our community, because you always hear me saying, we're one big happy family here in the San Gabriel Valley. We sure are. And with that, I'd like to start thanking our sponsors, Longo Toyota in El Monte. Have you been there? Okay, it's right off the 605 freeway. They're on this huge lot, this huge acreage, and they do more than just sell cars. So you have to go by and say hi to Michael, say hi to Brooke. Brooke hiding underneath. She's downstairs, but Mike's always upstairs, so you can say hi to him. Star 7 Financial with Francine Chu. Not only does she help you with your finances, like retirements, she can help you with your children's education fund. The Santa Anita Park, which is just right over there, okay? They're doing horse racing right now, and of course, you heard Pete in here. They're be part of the LA 2028 Olympics. I can't wait for that. I already bought my tickets. It's great. And the Le Méridien Hotel right here in Arcadia and Pasadena. All right. I got a great show, like I said. For your information, do you own a business? Or maybe you're a CEO, an executive of a business, and maybe you need some services, or are you feeling overwhelmed? Yeah, I do. I'm a business owner, so I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed. And even if you don't own a business, then this will be a great show if you want to start a business or use this show as a great referral. Now, growing a business is more than just about a great product and a great service. It's truly about the people behind it. But for many small businesses like myself and medium-sized businesses, managing those people can pull your hair out. I forgot my wine bottle. I was going to show you. I have wine here at the office because I pull my hair out because it could be it's stressful managing people. And what about hiring and compliance and the employee handbook and benefits? Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. HR, human resources. Now, don't let that name HR or start going to the sitcom Office, which I love the sitcom Office, okay, fool you, because human resources is truly about freedom. And that's what we're going to talk about. In studio right here, as you see, I have some great people from Insperity, Pricilla Cunningham and Kenneth Lindstrom. They are both business performance advisors. Welcome to Arcadia FYI.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Christine.
How was that great introduction?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I totally get it.
I don't know why you're not just an actress.
I am. No, okay. All right, let's get to know you guys a little bit. First, let's start with Pricilla. Were you born here in the United States, outside the United States?
Absolutely. Born and raised Southern California, all of LA County. Yeah.
What actual city?
Oh, I've moved around a lot.
Okay, what hospital were you born?
Martin Luther King.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was born in Kaiser on Hollywood Boulevard. So, yeah, I was born a star.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
What about you, Kenneth?
San Dimas. So not too far from here, and hospital was Garfield Memorial. So pretty close.
Okay. So, are you married, Pricilla? Have
Yes.
you children?
Yes, recently married. Late September of last year. So
well, congratulations. She's a newlywed.
Thank you.
Okay, so
yeah,
that's great.
I guess
So are you on your way to children? Do you have children?
I have children. I was the full package when he found me.
How old are your kids?
23, 16, and 13. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. One's out of the house already, but still got two teenage boys, which, as you could imagine, just like they say.
Didn't I just say pulling your hair? I have a bottle of wine if you want some.
Exactly.
So, what about you, Kenneth? Are you available?
Yes, single, no kids, at least not yet. So
Kenneth is available. Kenneth.com. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so coming into the HR world, what can you say with that moment, that turning point where you said, you know what, I'm going to be an HR advisor for businesses so they can be mad at me all the time? When did that?
Well, I didn't exactly think of it that way, but that's a good point. Honestly, when I got approached by Insperity, I was not in corporate America. I was working for my sister, who you met.
Yes.
And we were in her technology business. Unfortunately, things were starting to take a turn already with AI. Yeah. So we kind of saw the writing on the wall, and I thought, well, I need to get into something that's a little bit more stable. We were kind of unsure what she was going to do with the business. So I'd been approached by Insperity. I had no idea what Insperity was, who they were, what they did. But what really sold me on them was that I was able to find a corporate job where I could actually help people and feel like I could be of service. And so I think Insperity does a really good job of really vetting people out and making sure that the values align. And that's what I actually felt like I found with Insperity once I went through the whole process of talking to the recruiter and the hiring manager and just getting a feel for it. Because it's just like any job, right? You're going to also interview them and see if it's a good fit for you.
Was it their HR department?
Kind of. I never thought I would be in HR, but with the impact that I can make in this role, I felt like, okay, this is something I can do. They really have strong values, mission driven. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I said, okay, I'll give it a try. I can work for this company. It's not a corporate America style job that I had in the past. It felt like more of a service job. Oh, okay. And so that's kind of why I took the leap.
That's right. What about you, Kenneth?
Yeah, honestly, similar to Pricilla, after I was approached by Insperity, I got an understanding of what small businesses go through, and I saw Insperity as a way to help them, right? When it comes to HR, it's very reactionary, and we always say people don't go into business to become HR experts. And so seeing that need and seeing a solution that I could believe in and stand behind was huge for me. So yeah, I didn't go into it with a background in HR, but now I really understand the deep need that these businesses have.
So do you have a degree in business, Pricilla?
I don't. I have a degree in people.
You have a degree? Okay, degree in people. You have?
I do. I have a business degree, and specialization was marketing, actually. But yeah, I do.
Okay, so you were helping your sister with her business, so you understand what it is running a business.
It was like running my own business, exactly.
Okay, well, let's get into this and try and define what a goal of an HR, human resources, is for a business owner like myself, who has never worked with an HR company. Okay, it sounds pretty scary. Okay, so paint a picture for me and the listeners here of what their day-to-day actuality would look like without you, and then what it would look like with you.
Yeah. Well, you probably have a sense of what that is, but generally, starting a business, you're wearing all the hats. You're selling, you're finding, the technology that you need to maybe do your payroll or different things within the organization, so to speak. But you're wearing all the hats when you first start a business. So that right there in itself is a burden, right? A time suck, an administrative burden.
Are you watching me through my window or what?
Yeah, so it's just... You're Googling things at night, right? You're trying to find out if
now
you're
she's in my house.
Exactly. You're trying to do the work during the day and then all the HR stuff at night. And so you're just running yourself ragged. You have zero. That's why so many startups or, self entrepreneurs they're like, I have no time for anything, because at night they're working on everything they couldn't do during the day, which is usually HR stuff, right? All the admin stuff. So trying to find out about compliance and hiring somebody and how to onboard or running some payroll, whatever that might be, they're spending their time on that wherever they can fit it in. And so that's kind of what it's like before Insperity. As you probably know. And then when Insperity does come in and is a vendor partner to those businesses, it becomes an extension of your company, because we're an instant HR infrastructure. So you have a group of HR experts that are assigned and dedicated to your account as a client, an extension of your business, your HR team that will pretty much, handle all the administrative burdens that you were taking care of on your own, which is job descriptions when you're going to hire somebody, compliance, making sure that your employee handbook is actually available or that you have one, right? Yeah. And it's up to date with all the laws and your practices.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, that is
exactly right.
It is a lot. So when you sit down with somebody, Kenneth, and you say, okay, so I call you and say, okay, I want to kind of see what is all involved. What's the first thing you ask me?
Well, first we want to understand, the person, right? Why they got into business in the first place, and their goals, right? What are they trying to achieve? What kind of culture are they trying to cultivate? Those things are very important because with Insperity, not everyone is a fit. So it is important that we understand, the philosophy behind their business and if those two things align. And then from there we can start talking more detail, but really understanding their mindset.
And I guess I'll tack onto that. Mindset meaning an employer that actually knows that they need to invest in their people and take care of them in order for their business to thrive and be more successful. Because if you don't really invest in your people or appreciate that those people are going to help you get to the goals that you've set and taking care of them, and then everything else will follow, then that's not the right business owner for our model.
Okay, so what about a business that doesn't need all these employees? Okay, they have maybe one or two. Do you still work with them or advise? I mean, is there a part of the company that can kind of help the small business mom and pop?
Yeah, so we have two solutions. One, like we were just mentioning, is like the full service solution, the more proactive solution where we're actually we've got a service plan for you. Once we get you kind of onboarded as a client, we come up with your service plan based on what those goals might be for that first year. And so we have milestones to hit, right? That's a very proactive approach. Yeah. The 1 to 2 person company that maybe doesn't need that full service model just yet, we have what's called HR Core, which is more of a reactive model, but you have a team of experts that you can call directly anytime that you need help or email them. They're a go-to team for you of experts that you can reach out to at any time. And then you can run your payroll and everything like that.
Okay, so let's have fun with this HR, because let's take it from the employee perspective.
Yeah.
Because employees, I know one friend, if I can say, does not like HR at all whatsoever. Okay? They think that the HR department is the evil of the company. Mm-hmm. How do you approach that type? I mean, you're coming into a company, okay, let's say maybe 10 employees, and they want you to manage these employees to help them, not necessarily... I'm the boss. I'm going to use me as an example. Let me just use me as an example. I have 10 employees, 11 employees, and I'm managing them, and I need you to help me manage these employees. So then you're like, oh, okay. So then you start talking to the employees, and they don't even want to talk to you because they just do not like HR. Now what do you do?
Okay, here's what I'll say about that. We don't actually directly speak to the employees as the HR person. There's always going to be a point of contact at our client's location that's the kind of go through for managing the on-site. So we don't get involved in the day-to-day operations. We're more of the back office. Mm-hmm. So when somebody, your point of contact, whether it's you or somebody else in your organization, needs some guidance, they're the ones that are calling our team, their HR expert or benefit specialist or performance specialist, safety specialist, whatever specialist on that team to get the answers or guidance that they need. Yeah. And then they actually administer the guidance or whatever it is that they were told to do.
Well, then how does that relieve my stress from having to talk to my employees?
Guidance and support. So they're still your employees. Ultimately, you're still making the decisions, but what we offer is guidance and support that ultimately protects your business. Oftentimes, you see these wrongful termination lawsuits or PAGA lawsuits, and that's where that reactionary part comes in, right? It's not something that you're thinking about until it happens, and now you have to figure out what to do about it. Insperity is there to help mitigate that risk up front so that you don't deal with it down the line. So making sure that you're managing your employees the right way, even if it comes down to terminations, we help guide you so that those things are handled the right way.
Even onboarding compliance. When you hire an employee, there's certain things that you have to do to make sure that they're onboarded properly. They have to have a handbook as soon as you onboard them. You have to give them their employee handbook.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to this question. Let's go right to the employee handbook.
I know.
Because
It's already come up a lot.
I know. Because the employee handbook, some businesses don't even see why they even have to have one.
Yeah, we come across that a lot.
Okay.
More
Often.
than you'd think. Yeah.
So talk about the risk of not operating with an employee handbook.
Would you like to take that one? I feel like I've been hogging up the space.
Yeah, again, not having an employee handbook, not having something in place for the employees that outlines everything for the employees, it puts the business at risk. This is where you open yourself up to wrongful termination lawsuits. It really leaves the business vulnerable. So typically with Insperity, once you come on with us, that's one of the first places that we start with you. Your HR specialist will start outlining that with you.
So you actually help write the handbook?
Yeah, they'll help.
See that is great. That's a great service right there.
Yeah.
Help write because I think some small businesses and medium-sized businesses do not even know the laws.
Well, that's it, right? Especially in California when things are ever changing. That's the whole point, right? We're helping shift that liability, right, and mitigate that risk that these small businesses face. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, as far as the handbook goes, you want clear rules and expectations written in there of your own company policy, so that there isn't any unfair treatment of any of the employees. So you have a policy
if you don't come to work
being
on time, you're fired.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be clear in writing so that people know that somebody's not getting favoritism or any of those little things that come up in office politics, where somebody might feel or perceive that somebody else is getting treated a different way.
Yep.
Or there's no real clear policy on calling out sick or tardiness and things like that. And then once you end up terminating somebody, if they start to violate rules that you have in your mind but aren't clearly written in your handbook, then that's when you come across, if somebody feels like if they're disgruntled and you have a wrongful termination or something like that, that's where you're held liable and you're found liable in court. And then, of course, obviously, the laws are written in there as well. But
right.
Having alignment with your policies and the California laws for employment or what you want to have.
I have to say that I have an awesome business lawyer. So he's all about making sure
you're buttoned up.
Yeah. Christine, this is what you need to do. Okay. So let me ask you this. Having an HR company, does it really help organize, how can I say, staying at a court?
Absolutely, yeah. When these are followed from the beginning, you're protecting yourself, right? You're making sure that there's really no room for maybe a disgruntled employee to find a crack. Because typically, if you don't have these things, if there's no records, another area is time and attendance, right? Those PAGA lawsuits. You could argue that they didn't take their breaks or lunches on time, and that's an area where once they're terminated, they're going to find even though a lot of employers say oh, you can just go take a break now, you don't have to punch out, or they think they're doing a favor to the employee. Yeah.
We live in California, people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's important to remember.
Yeah.
So the more records that you keep, following clear guidelines, having everything on paper, just helps protect the business in the long run.
What do you think about this? Courts we're just talking about the state of California.
Yeah.
The courts in the state of California. Do you think they're for business or not, or more for the employee?
Oh, absolutely, the employee.
For the employee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we know that.
Again, we live in California, so you got to make sure that you have a very good employee handbook, and you do help with that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
That's our low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we want to button up for a client when they come on board, because we're also sharing that risk of the client. So it's in our interest to make sure that everything is compliant and that they're safe. They're going to be, just buttoned up really tightly, and the employees too.
So
it's not just about protecting the business, but it's also making sure that you have protections for your employees.
All right, and talking about all of this, for me, all I think is if I hire you, it's money. So can you fit into the budget of a small business, medium-sized business? How does that work? Because remember, I have a bottle of wine. I'm gonna get another one. When it comes to hiring an HR company, how does that work?
Yeah, well, so I don't know if you want to take it.
Yeah, well, it's not just about the cost, but it's also, what what you're avoiding, right? The potential to go to a lawsuit. So those protections that you have in place. As far as the cost, though, you think of bringing on a team of HR experts externally, right? Mm-hmm. Insperity likely is a fraction of the cost, but what you're getting is a team of HR experts to cover all areas of that for your business.
So it is affordable to bring on an HR company that you can save.
It's more affordable than if you hire people internally on your own.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you're covering their benefits, right? You got your workers' comp, and of course their salary.
Workers' comp. You got to come back on the show to talk about that. Okay, go ahead.
All the things that go into bringing in, it's not just their salary, it's all the other, the ancillary things.
You said retirement, right? Because all I heard was...
We do have an retirement services division.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we want to try to be the all-in-one solution if most people or most businesses want a streamlined operation, and so we do have that service available.
And it's also about offering these things that would attract the right people to your organization, and that comes back to culture. So having the right benefits, having a 401k plan, you want to get the right people on board.
That's so. Culture it's everything. When I bring on employees, I tell them I don't want you to work for your job. I want your job to be an extension of your life,
right? Not
your life. That's how I always view business. But sometimes you just get employees, well, we got to do this, we got to do that. And, do I get overtime for this? No. I was on your website, and I saw this really good service that you have, HR 360. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I was reading through, I'm like, oh, hey, this is really cool. It talks about, at least from what I read, helping businesses navigate business milestones that you were talking about earlier. Okay, so can you give us, me and our listeners, a real world example of what that looks like, this particular service, whether it's hiring my first employee or dealing with rapid growth or preparing for a big transition, which I always hope for that in my business world. And so how do you guide a business owner like myself through those moments?
Yeah. For example, I would say, one of our clients that we recently brought on had an immediate concern with an employee, and it came down to maybe a potential termination and understanding how they needed to go through that process correctly, and they needed us to react quickly, and that's what they got, right? I mean, as soon as they were a client, navigating those moments again is what protects the business, and that's what Insperity is all about. But also reacting quickly is important, which is something that you don't necessarily get with similar solutions, right? We pride ourselves on service and quick service. But that's just one example that comes to mind because it was such an immediate need. I mean, they had been a client for...
And that comes in under the HR 360?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is Insperity's bread and butter. And that's everything that we've spoken to thus far really falls under the HR 360 umbrella.
It's
comprehensive.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, I just had to stop because
it is a lot.
Yeah.
And as far as other milestones, think about when a company is growing, in rapid growth, you're gonna be growing faster than you can actually implement any performance management tools or leadership development and training, right? And so that's where Insperity can step in, because we do all of that stuff for our clients. And so again, having a service plan in place based on where the company is going, where they are, so we meet them where they are and where they're going. So if we know that they're going to be growing, we'll have those milestones in place for leadership development, performance management.
Another example,
training,
we get a lot of startups, for example. Another client that we brought up at the beginning of the year, they needed that infrastructure in place immediately, right? And they said it themselves, they're not HR experts. So we're leaning on you guys to provide all of this. Part of that being the benefits, right? Mm-hmm. The handbook, everything, leadership development, having everything in place immediately, because they were they were still in construction getting the building underway. They didn't have time to focus on any of these other needs, right? But they needed it in place immediately. And so that's something that we see a lot. You asked if we bring on, 1 or 2 person companies. A lot of times we do, because that's where they're starting, and having that infrastructure in place before they begin to grow is so important.
Yeah, and plus if they're starting, they're coming in with the idea that I want to grow, so they
Yes.
bring you on. So I think you hit something right in the heart, and that's honesty. And I know for business owners, we don't want to be honest. I don't need any help.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
We do
And-
encounter that a lot too.
Yeah,
It's a pride thing.
and I think myself can be a stumbling block to my own success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you had mentioned when you were coming in, and the first thing that they wanted you to do was deal with an employee, and you got to understand as a business owner, sometimes you can have employees that can hold you back, and you want to move forward, but you can't.
Yeah.
And then you guys can come in and you can actually relieve some of that burden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think.
And
I
it
think
takes the stress, earlier Pricilla mentioned, staying up at night, right? When you're a business owner and you're wearing all of these hats, including HR, one of those things at night, you might be wondering, is it okay to terminate this person? Or in this way, am I going to be okay if I do that? Will I potentially face a lawsuit? We're there to help guide you through the process so that you can feel comfortable knowing that you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, some of my clients, they literally say that they have peace of mind. They can sleep at night
Yes.
because of Insperity.
Yeah,
Peace of mind.
and that, peace of mind
Yeah.
is everything, because not even wine can help with that.
Yeah.
It does for a second,
little bit.
but that, but I think that is, there's so many things going through my mind, but I think it does start with a plan. So do you help, like a plan, not just a marketing plan, but a business plan more?
Yeah, and that's one of those first conversations that you have. It's, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve with this? What kind of culture are you trying to build? What kind of employees are you trying to attract? So those conversations start with Pricilla and I when we're first meeting these businesses. But once they come on as a client and they become connected, aligned with their HR team, those are the things that you start. Those are the moving pieces that start immediately when you come
I
on.
actually have a business plan, and I actually executed it, but what about, I don't know, maybe this is getting off track. I don't know if you help with this, but you have a business plan, you have a dream, and, I wrote this out, and sometimes I just come up to where it's just dead. To water it, to grow it again. Do you guys help with that, where where like someone feels like, I've lost my dream?
Well, I think
I want to keep moving in my business.
part of what Insperity does offer is the time to focus on growing your business, on strategy, because these things take time away from that, right? When you're always in the weeds dealing with these HR compliance issues with employees, that administrative burden does take away from the reason you got into business in the first place, right? And
like
so
that.
offering
Stuck
time
in the
back
weeds.
to that and the
See
peace
this
of
little
mind.
picture, like,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Right. Right.
Wow, we're running out of time. See, you got to come back. There's so many things.
You can talk for hours about this topic.
You can, because it's, I think there are some people that go after a career that's maybe not owning a business, but they want to be a part of something big.
Yeah.
They want to be, or just a part of something good that, because for me, I want to be a part of something big, but it may not be big like, Home Depot or Walmart or something like that. But I do want to be a part of something big where, like this show, inform people with things like this. And to know that there's a company out there that can help that process is great. And I like what you say, streamline,
Yep.
and help with that. So, okay. So as we come to at least this end, because you guys will come back on, because I do like the fact that you guys bring in wine for me. I wish I put the bottle out there. But anyway.
Order a case next time.
Yeah.
For the business owner or professional that's listening right now, who is on the fence about, hey, we really need to hire an HR company, what would be the one thing that you would want them to walk away knowing about Insperity?
Well, I would say that you don't have to do it alone. Like you had mentioned before, sometimes you could be your own, get in your own way. We sit often with business owners that want to do everything because they want to control everything. They think that they can do it all. But there's a certain point where you have to delegate things so that way you can focus on your business and not be bogged down by all the other things that can be taken care of by a resource like Insperity. So I think that's the one thing I'd like for people to take away. It's like you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
You absolutely can get the support and the compliance and everything that you need to run your business and just not even have to worry about it.
I think too, when you say things like that, when, because I build and design websites and work with clients that need their content to show up in AI search, not just in Gemini and ChatGPT, but just in AI search itself. And that's the one thing that it is hard for me to help clients. Okay, let go of that content a little bit. No, let me have it. No,
Yeah.
I can help you. I really can. Just trust me.
Yeah.
And it comes down to that trust, saying, okay, this is it. I'm going to let this go. Because clients have said, I've let people have my website and look at it. It's all messed up. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the trust. Insperity's been at it for 40 years. This is our 40th year in business.
Oh, wow.
Our
40 years.
founder is still the CEO today.
Oh.
Founder-led, the same mission, vision, and values have been running through this company for 40 years.
Yep.
And he had failed businesses before he started Insperity, and that's why he started Insperity.
Yeah.
So he realized that he needed a partner like Insperity that he built this company on to help him with all those things that he didn't have as a small business owner, which is the compliance support, the HR expertise, the safety support, training, all that stuff that we do.
Yep.
And so, like you said, it's a trust thing. You have to trust that you have a good partner by your side.
Any other comments, Kenneth?
No, I think that was excellent. I will say, one thing that we always ask ourselves and the business owners that we speak to is status quo an option for you? And oftentimes, like we said earlier, you don't know what you don't know. You didn't get into HR or business to be an HR expert. I would say open up your mind to, the possibilities and that things could change for your business, that there are other options out there, that things could maybe operate a little smoother. Open yourself up to those possibilities.
Take care of your people.
Yes, and
Everything
take care of
else
your
will
people.
follow if you take care of your people.
I think so too. And you know what? One of the things I do want to say is when it comes to businesses, it's okay to fail. I don't know how many times I have said, okay, I'm going to do it. And I failed making it. Why did I make that decision? Why did I let that person in my life? Why did, But you know what? I would have never known where the next step is if it wasn't for those failures.
Yeah.
And I think Insperity, I have to say that I've gotten to know Pricilla and Kenneth a little bit more. And I have to say that they truly do love to listen. And not, I shouldn't say love to listen. They do listen to what it is that you want to do with your business and where you want to go with your business and what mountain are you on right now. Let me, here, let me throw the rope down and let me kind of help you up this mountain that I put myself on. So I just want to say thank you for being here and thank you for wanting to help businesses and you definitely have to come back.
Yes.
For sure.
Thank you for having us, Christine, and we'll definitely be back.
You need people like this. All right. Remember, you can hear Arcadia FYI at arcadiafyi.com. And any of the resources that Pricilla and Kenneth talked about, you can also, there's a little resource tab on my website, arcadiafyi.com. You can go there and you can see all these resources. And you can also hear this podcast on your favorite channel like YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. I would like to thank our sponsors for making this all happen for me. Longo Toyota, you can go there. They're right off the 605 freeway. They do more than just sell cars. Star 7 Financial with Francine Chu helping you with your finances. Maybe you should guys meet Francine Chu. You guys do fine. Okay. So anyway, she is great. Not only can she help you with your retirement, she can help you with your kids' education. The Santa Anita Park, the races are going on right now. Pete will be back on to talk more about the LA Olympics in 2028 and the Le Meridien Hotel right here in Arcadia and Pasadena. All right, until next time on Arcadia FYI, be blessed and make it a great day.